Section 7.5, Solving Radical Equations. Example, square root x minus 3 equals 7. We solve this as if we had no radical sign at all and we wanted to solve for x. So we're going to add 3 to both sides of the equal sign to get our radical alone. And we get square root x equals 10. Now to cancel out the radical sign, we square it, but if we square one side of the equal sign, we must also square the other. Remember, the square cancels the square root, leaving just x, and on the other side of the equal sign, 10 squared is 100. Always check your answer, just in case you have an extraneous solution, which means that you can work the problem perfectly, but when you plug it back in, it might not work. So going back to our original equation, we're going to replace the x with 100 and solve the left side of the equal sign. Square root of 100 is 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 7 does equal 7. That is a true statement. Therefore, the solution is x equals 100. Another example, square root x plus 4 plus 2 equals 0. Again, I'm going to get my radical alone by subtracting 2 from both sides of the equal sign. That leaves me square root of x plus 4 equals negative 2. Now square both sides of the equal sign. That gives us x plus 4 equals 4. Now to solve for x, we're going to subtract 4 from both sides of the equal sign, and we get x equals 0. Remember to plug that back in to your original equation and check your solution. So again, we're going to solve the left side of the equal sign to see if it equals 0. Square root of 0 plus 4 is square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 does not equal 0. That is a false statement. Therefore, x cannot equal 0, and there is no solution. Another example, sometimes we will have two radicals on one side of the equal sign. Our goal is to get one radical all by itself. Doesn't matter what's on the other side of the equal sign. So I'm going to subtract the cubed root of 2x minus 3 from both sides of the equal sign so that I have a single radical on the left side. So this gives me the cubed root of x squared minus 5 equals negative cubed root of 2x minus 3. Now to cancel the radicals, I am going to cube both sides of the equal sign. On the left, remember the cube cancels the cubed root, which leaves x squared minus 5. And on the other side, not only are we cubing the cubed root, we are also cubing the negative 1 on the outside, which is still negative. So this gives us negative times 2x minus 3. Multiply out the negative, and we end up with x squared minus 5 equals negative 2x plus 3. Notice we have a square. That means we have a quadratic equation. So we need to get all terms to the left side of the equal sign by adding the 2x and subtracting the 3. and we end up with x squared plus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Since we have a quadratic equation, we need to factor that by setting down our two sets of parentheses and setting it equal to 0. The factors of x squared are x, and the factors of negative 8, that when we add them give us the positive 2 in the middle, would be a positive 4 and a negative 2. Now set each factor equal to 0 and solve each equation. On the first one, we're going to subtract 4 from both sides, and we get x equals negative 4. Second one, we're going to add 2 to both sides, and we get x equals 2. Now remember to plug your answers one at a time back into the original equation and solve to make sure that they both work. So the original equation was cubed root x squared minus 5 plus cubed root 2x minus 3 equals 0. And remember, the solutions we found were x equals negative 4 and x equals 2. So let's start with the negative 4. We're going to replace the x's with negative 4 and solve to see if our equation does in fact equal 0. Negative 4 squared is 16. Negative 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. 16 minus 5 is 11. Negative 8 minus 3 is negative 11. And we can see that these will not cancel out because we are adding them, and they are not like radicals anyway. But they will not equal 0. So negative 4 does not work. We throw that one out. Now let's check positive 2 and see if that one works. So replace all the x's with 2 and work the left side of the equal sign. Two squared is 4. Two times 2 is 4. So here we have 4 minus 5 is negative 1. And 4 minus 3 is positive 1. The cubed root of negative 1 is negative 1. The cubed root of 1 is positive 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So x equals 2 is a solution. So in this problem, we only have one answer. X equals 2.